already. This morning we're going to hear 5 reflections from relative newcomers to the congregation, those who've become more actively involved in the past year-ish. First, a special thank you to staff member Sarah Davidson, not only for the work that they have done in inviting those who are speaking today to speak and helping think through that, but also the work that they have done to nurture these cohorts of newcomers. It really makes a difference. Thank you, Sarah.
I'm Christina, she, her pronouns. I started coming to this congregation with my husband and 2 kids this past fall. I'm delighted to be here. I believe we are here in this broken world to love and to be loved. If you are looking for a fulfilling life, money, fame, knowledge, prestige, comfort aren't going to do very much for you if you can't figure out how to love and be loved. On the flip side, a life that is consumed by material want, mental distress, or physical pain presents substantial obstacles to the experience of love. We all have tough times, and they can be quite consuming. If our purpose is to love and be loved, we have to work to heal the hurt places in ourselves, and we have to heal our society. All that you touch, you change. All that you change, changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God is change. Butler might be onto something here. Certainly, I come to worship in order to change, in order to be changed and to make change happen in the world around me. And yet, I find it difficult. Theoretically, everything I have described could happen outside the religious sphere and probably should stretch beyond the space we reserve for church. Yet it has been my experience that love and change happen best in my life when I'm in a community of people working on similar projects. It is the opportunity to get to know people different from oneself, making generous lives out of circumstances foreign to me. That observation allows me to quiet worry, to tune out the news announcer, to seal up the us-them divide, and to remember the beauty of being alive with you in this very moment. I look forward to getting to know you better and to joining together in our project of love and change. Thanks.
So I'm Dot Brower. My pronouns are they, them, theirs. First, I'd like to thank all of you for extending a warm welcome to me and to my partner, Anita. We've only been here a few weeks, really, when you count, but we have felt welcomed since the very first day we walked through the doors, so thank you. I also want to acknowledge how much so many of you have inspired us. Those of you who've stood up here and shared your reflections, those of you who have raised your voices in song every week, not every week, and those of you who we see quietly volunteering to fulfill the larger mission of this congregation. All of that, the active participation, has been very inspiring. So I was 28 years old the first time I entered a Unitarian Universalist sanctuary. It was 1986, and Anita and I had just moved to Burlington, Vermont, and we did not know a soul. In that community, I could feel people's loving regard for each other. I could feel their respect and sense of responsibility to each other. And I felt seen and heard and embraced as who I am. And that made me feel more alive in that community. I could feel each Sunday that people were glad to be there, not just feeling obligated to be there. It didn't hurt that the minister was amazing and the minister's sermons were so thought-provoking. But the minister was not the whole story. Every person we met seemed to have some sort of connection or involvement with the various happenings that were going on in the church and beyond the Sunday services. And Anita and I realized that it was this active participation and this shared leadership that made the experience of being there so inspiring and so energizing. And we got pretty involved ourselves. We also learned, however, that when that minister left, how he had quietly been working in the background to foster that dynamic participatory leadership. We came to UUCC one of the first Sundays after we moved here last October. And that first Sunday, one of us grabbed the other one's hand as we started feeling that same sense of engagement, the trusting openness, the trusting openness, which is based on the loving respect and regard that you can actively feel people showing each other. And we witnessed the shared leadership that we had treasured all those years ago. We also felt like we were witnessing an amazing minister. Of course, a couple weeks later, we learned the whole. We had a couple of years with the other guy, but. So we are so happy to be here in our new home in Columbia, in this new community, in this congregation and beyond. And we're incredibly grateful to all of you we see making UCC the special place that it is. She's leaving, but you're not, I hope. So the experience we had in Vermont taught us the challenge that faces any congregation to preserve its character and traditions when a very special and long-serving minister prepares to move on. And the excellent news for you is that we plan to be here to meet it with you. Thank you very much.
What brought me to UUC was a deep longing for friendship, community, and love. I started coming here in 2019 at a time in my life when I felt emotionally devastated, lonely, and disconnected from everyone. When I thought of what's kept me coming here, I kept picturing it like the making of a beautifully colored, hand-woven basket. I keep colorful baskets in almost every room of my home, and they remind me of how we can, through rituals, create something special out of ordinary materials like reeds that are not worth much individually, but woven together, they turn into a thing of beauty and utility. Just like the beautiful hand-woven patterns on baskets, UUCC has many reeds that intertwine and overlap, reinforcing the structure and design of this congregation. Reads like pages deeply felt messages of hope, inclusivity, and advocacy. Reads like the church's commitment to updating its mission with the input of all of its congregants. Reads like the connections to many other sources of communal support, like the Community Ecology Institute, where I found a community of gardeners. Reads like the intentional honoring and truth-telling about the many spiritual and societal contributions of African Americans, Indigenous Americans, and many other groups that have been marginalized. Reads like the warmth and friendliness of many of the members here, including that member who first embraced me years ago, right here in this sanctuary, shortly after service when she saw me crying. She didn't ask any questions or try to cheer me up. She just lovingly and knowingly offered me her arms and quiet acceptance of my grief. The comfort and compassion I felt in that moment from a perfect stranger made me know that this was a place of healing and a place where, if only for 1 hour a week, I would not feel alone. When I feel discouraged about the state of humanity, this congregation's and the sermons and discussion groups have given me hope and remind me that there are people besides myself who are sensitive to life's overwhelming beauty, changes, and suffering. People who are committed to practicing empathy, compassion, and respect for all life, and who are perpetually seeking a deeper understanding of life and love. Our community is an especially beautiful weave that I have not encountered before, and I'm so glad to be a part of it. I look forward to the continuation of the unique patterns that we have here with new, vibrant hues of spirituality and culture added in. Thank you.